this is about media and our rights to be able to report stories and not be co-opted by law enforcement.
They don't see this as a simple question of media freedom. It's much more complicated by the fact that it is a terrorism case.
I mean, I understand that. I've understood that from the beginning. I mean, obviously, this is. I think it's the reason that it's at the Supreme Court is that it's this confluence of national security and also press freedom. But I think, as I've maintained throughout this entire experience, I mean, a source is a source is a source. Like, you have to protect what we have and the way that we carry out our jobs, because once you start infringing on that, I won't be able to have contact with these types of sources. And frankly, the stories that I put out were actually informing Canadians of fundamental things in their society, i.e. some of their citizens going over to Syria and Iraq and fighting for a very terrible terrorist organization.
We want them to take greater account of important factors when reviewing a production order or search warrant against a journalist. So to take into account certain aspects of journalism, such as a chilling effect, such as privacy interests and work product, basically take into account the rights of journalists to a greater degree than courts currently do, and also look at the flip side, which is law enforcement interests, and look at things like how likely is it there's going to be a trial? Why go after a journalist when Sherdon's not in custody, he may be dead, and a trial is years away, if ever?
Did you ever get a sense of why the RCMP wants this material?
I've never gotten an understanding or a feeling as to why they want this. I think it's a complete fishing expedition. I think they're trying to simply use my information to prove charges against an individual that the U.S. military says is dead. I think what they're trying to do is establish new rights in this brand new digital age, and I think that that's a serious problem, and it's something that all of you and myself should be afraid of. So we're in a brand new technological environment where, you know, I can communicate with a known terrorist from Canada while this individual is in Raqqa or in Mosul fighting for a terrorist organization. So, you know, that likely wouldn't have been as possible, you know, in early 2000s, the 90s. So this is a brand new environment, and I think this case in particular speaks to that.